From the Middle is a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 325 of From the Middle. This week, we are three middle class guys living in the middle of America and middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle. This week, Kory's back. He weighs in on the food order of operations, tells us a little bit about his travels, and Kendall is finally thoughtful enough to ask how Dylan's doing. We hope you enjoy this episode. We had a ton of fun.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
New hat?
No. Okay. So this is
What happened was
just to preface this, we start having a conversation before we hit record, and then at some point someone's like, we need to just be recording.
It ends up being one of the most hilarious things that we do, not record it. And then we're like,
this case, it wasn't a funny thing.
it doesn't have to be. Our warm-up should be the Middler's warm-up. You know
that's true. We were talking about my hat. Well, which started because my beard has not been trimmed in like a month and a half. I have Ray do it, and last time I saw him, I was like, I had him, or actually, Amy came with me, and both of them decided that I should try to let my beard go, and so I did. That's what had happened, and Kory had said it works well with the camo hat, and I'm saying I think that I'll probably be switching off of the camo hat soon because I'm a Field and Stream founding subscriber, which gets you this whole deal where you get their catalog, their beautifully written and wonderfully photographed book of nature stories and tales and things. They issue 2 of those a year. You get both of those, and then as one of these members, you also get a hat with each one. And so an exclusive members only hat.
That's cool.
And so every 6 months I get a new hat, which means that I can actually wear it all the time and not worry about whether or not it gets dingy and smelly because a new one's coming.
That's right. So this whole time, the bottom section of that X, I thought that was a Clippers logo.
Oh.
And I thought they had done like a special camo outdoorsy version of a Clippers thing.
Gotcha.
I now see that it's a fish.
It is a fish. Yeah.
So I was
got a
like,
fish there. We got a duck up top, and then you've got a gun and a fishing rod there, a fly reel.
Just a few of your favorite things. I love that.
A few of my favorite things. It's actually come up a couple times. Like, should I wear this to like the parent teacher conference in the school because it's depicting a weapon? Kind of thing. Because I'm pretty sure they have a rule that they're not allowed to wear clothing that depicts guns. So I did last time just to see what would happen, and it was okay.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
I carry a mil spec backpack on work trips. Sometimes I have 2 that I alternate between.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that one of the patches, I mean, I don't know how I didn't realize it because it's blatantly obvious. One of the patches on the thing is a Glock patch.
Yeah.
And I was in the West Coast going, maybe I shouldn't have that patch on there or have it on airplanes.
that's got to be so common in this country that people have patches and stuff like that and hats. And I think you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree. That was kind of like I went through that same thought process and was like, well, I'm not worried about offending anybody. If they're offended by the mere picture of a weapon, which is
And that's very, very small.
Yeah.
And
that's not on me.
I don't care what Kory says, Kendall. I think your beard looks great. I'm digging your Gandalf the Grey era. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and it actually all started because I said that Kory's beard looks very well groomed and trimmed, and it's looking sharp today. And even the graying is symmetrical.
I have That I have nothing to do with, neither does the barber. But I have to toe this line now of being like edgy and wild, but also still pass in corporate America and
Yeah.
in formal business settings. So I was on the road back to back, and I didn't have time to or didn't want to carry clippers in my luggage
Right.
because I was cramming 3 weeks worth of stuff in one roller bag in a backpack. And so I had the joy of like discovering and going to a new barbershop in the Bay Area and had a lovely experience. So yeah, I just got it edged up before my last gig. But yeah,
Okay.
I if I could, I would do the wild. I would go like you're going.
Let
I mean,
it go
it's coming out
scraggly.
sideways.
Yeah. No, I want to knock that down so bad. Straighten it up.
I think
I'd
it's
leave
what
it.
we do.
Yeah, it's very strong look.
Mm.
I just look at it and think I shall not pass. You know what I mean?
So, but Kory, I do like your trimmed up look.
Thanks,
And
man.
You
Appreciate
can keep that's your cleaned up side, and then that gives you the pass for the Glock patch.
There you go.
There's your you still have your wild side.
So if this seasonality continues to this consulting work, and I think it will, things kind of die at Thanksgiving and don't really pick up until the 1st of January. So I have like 2.5 months uh,
Yeah.
where I can just let it go before I have to knock it down.
Yeah, become a biker.
Even my colleague and friend Stefan, who I'll talk about later in this episode, there have been times when he and I are doing a gig together and he's like, maybe you want to just clean that up a little bit. Like, who you trying to be here, you know?
Pick a lane.
Yeah.
I dare you to say anything about my Glock patch.
Do it. I have to say, I today listened to you guys' episode. So, hey, Midlers, it's good to be back. We are recording late this week. Life has been a little hectic. It's been hard for us to get together. Yes, even on Zoom, it has been hard for us to get together. And so it is Friday night as of recording this episode. And earlier today, I listened to last week's episode of From the Middle featuring your very own Dylan and Kendall. And they were talking about food, amongst other things. I want to weigh in on the order that we eat things, but at the very end, Dylan was talking about, you were both talking about Mexican food and how it's one of those cuisines where you can kind of just put everything together. And at some point, Dylan says, yeah, you could take like the rice and beans and do like a comb over. And when he said comb over, when I tell you I fell out, I was just wheezing. So I just mid wheezing, I just grabbed my phone and sent a voice memo to you guys because I wanted you to hear how much you were making me laugh. But he says, yeah, and then you got your lettuce and your sour cream. You just want to comb over back on the other side. You just make.
So when you sent us that voice message about what we should just refer to as the Mexican comb over. The couple of thoughts the couple of things that happened while I was listening to that. The first one was, I wonder if Kory is taking advantage of a certain type of legalization that has recently occurred in Ohio. But the second thing,
not at that time.
The second thing is, so today, I had allowed my daughter to ride her bike to a friend's house, which is a little further than we've allowed her to go by herself before. And it made sure that she knew how to get there and like pay attention to how you're going. So if you do get lost, you can come back and all those things. And I told her that, like, you know, it's times like these just to remind you that I'm your dad and I am worried. And so help me out by letting me know when you get there or if anything goes wrong. And so I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm listening to that message. And my wife goes, is she crying?
Oh, man.
I'm like, well,
someone is.
If you've seen Kory's beard, yes, she is crying.
That's
you know
Kory, whose hysterical laughter sounds a lot like my 10-year-old daughter's cry.
and my voice gets higher and higher and higher.
That
And
was
then
funny,
I do the,
dude.
and then
It
I
was
do the
fun.
Jiminy Glick thing where I go back to a lower register. It's like, trying
Yeah.
to figure out what's going on.
Bring it up here, drop it back down low. um,
Oh man, that was so fun, you guys.
but yes, Dylan, the Mexican
Cracking
comb
up.
over comment was I did not give it apparently the attention that it deserved at the
I'm
time.
I'm unappreciated in my time. You know,
I never asked you how you were. I still haven't asked you how you are.
True.
We'll see if I get around to it.
And I still have a great Fago. It's the same one from a week and a half ago when I recorded. Until you ask, this is going to sit on my desk undrank. No, that's a joke.
Oh
Ay.
It is delicious.
gosh, I laughed so hard. That was so fun. And yeah, and also Midlers, we've been a little inconsistent. We took a week off and then summer late, so it's spring. You know, we're trying to just get it figured out after the winter break.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh boy.
Everything's fine.
Did you need to weigh in on the food thing, by the way? Did you have an order of operations you wanted to discuss?
I just want to say that I think I'm a little bit of both of you. I do still save the best bites for last, but I partake of everything on the plate. If this rarely happens at a restaurant, if the dessert happens to be on the table as well, the rebel in me wants to take a bite of dessert even first before I start the rest of the meal. That's like a thing I do just to like, you can't control me, restaurant.
Well, maybe you don't want to assume that that's going to be the tastiest morsel.
Yeah. So I'll take a bite of dessert. If I'm at home, I'll just like have something sweet to start before. But anyway, let's just assume it's the steak, asparagus, baked potato example you guys gave. Like Dylan, I'm still going to save like the middle juiciest part of the steak for my absolute last bites. But if the asparagus and the baked potatoes coming out, the first thing I do is take a cut of the steak while it's hot, because I just want to have that first nice bite. But then I'm going to mix in a little potato, a little asparagus. Sorry for the zoom in and out. I don't know how to shut that off.
It's fun. I'm getting sick. It's all right.
Very dramatic.
I'll stop using hand motions.
No,
I
dude,
talk
you're
with
fine. I'm just razzing you. Taking
No, I got
advantage
that.
of an overthinker. That's all we're doing.
I got that feedback earlier this week. Feedback is a gift. So I do partake of everything. I do still save for last. But the funny thing about that is I have to like watch my ratios, because I kind of want to like keep having tastes of things as I go. So if like the asparagus is getting low, I got to slow down on my potato to make sure that I'm getting like about, because to me the whole plate is it's like an artist palette in the painting. Like it's all the painting. I want all of it.
So do you want like your last 3 bites to be like the best bite of asparagus, the best gravy or whatever piece of mashed potato, and then the center of the steak? Do you want that to be your last 3
instead of 3 chunks of steak? Yes. So I'm doing what Dylan's doing, just per food item.
Is that
interesting?
Is that like machete order? Is that what you call that? Like,
sure.
I don't know. We don't have a name for that. Okay. We did get some good interaction, by the way, on the Fago. Thank you for reaching out about Fago being beloved. And I did have somebody text me about how they and their significant other eat. I can read it if you'd like me to read it.
Let's get in there.
Okay, this is relatively fast. So they went dish by dish. This is the I don't think that it matters what gender they are, but I don't have a problem. So the male in the relationship says, traditionally start with the fries. Cold fries are never good, but if I'm starving, I may dive into the burger first.
Okay.
On the sub, he says, the sub is the main star of the show. Chips are just a complimentary piece. I also like flavored chips, so sometimes the flavor doesn't mesh well with the sub.
Okay.
Do you know if in the first answer is he eating the whole thing of fries?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is not machete order on these bites. This appears to be all of one, move on to the next part. It's almost like the kids' school trays. Like you eat all the applesauce and then you eat all because you haven't you're not doing what Kory's doing. There's no total pain.
So we can call that spot shaving, and then the machete thing we could call an even fade.
What
Everything
if
is
you're just
fading
doing, like-
evenly. And
what
then
if
we've
you're
got
just-
Mexican comb over.
What if you're just doing like one or two fries while everybody's getting their plates?
I
That's
don't
an
think that
appetizer.
counts. That doesn't count.
That's an
Switch to
appetizer.
burger. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Sneak in a couple fries.
Yeah, that's
Eh,
just common sense. Like
That's
it's
just-
you're being polite and you're hungry. So
And that's actually, I think, just central nervous system doing that. That's not.
It can't be controlled. Go ahead. Sorry, Dylan.
Yeah.
it's okay. Okay, but the sub, I get the sub and chip thing. If your sub is a certain flavor of sub and you don't want a different kind of flavor mixing with, I understand. And then on the steak one, it was steak first always. Fresh off the grill, hot steak is the best. Lukewarm veggies aren't the end of the world.
Okay.
Wow, it really does matter by dish for this person. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So that was my response. It sounds like you both are like middle ground. It's not all this or all that. So female of the pair, fries first because my hands get messy with the burger and I don't want that on my fries. See, I would love that.
I would want that. Yeah.
Like let it.
I
drip all
actually
over the
like
fries.
a tavern thick burger that drips everywhere. I intentionally eat it over the fries.
Yeah. I would if I was eating the burger first.
You're making poutine as you go.
Yes.
Exactly. Interesting note. The drink is influential for me here. Fries usually pair better with my drink or milkshake. Or fries could pair better
Wow.
with my drink or milkshake.
That's a whole nother level.
Yeah. For her, sub first because chips aren't my favorite. I only like regular potato chips. The best way I can describe this is if I'm going for a sub, I'm going for the sub, not at all the chips. Which makes sense. Steak first always because I don't actually want to eat the vegetables, but I feel like I have to. So
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people in that boat.
yeah. It's like I couldn't get a better side. They wouldn't let me order steak with double mac and cheese as my side, so I'm stuck with some veggies. I guess I'm gonna eat the steak and then whatever's left. So there you go. There was one of the order and why for another couple. So there you go.
Okay.
It really matters. I think people are all over the spectrum on this issue.
Yeah. And what's important and perhaps comforting to know is that we're not, well, maybe we made them think about it, but that sounds like people who have thought about it before. We're not the only people thinking about this kind of thing.
The good thing about a question like that is all it takes is knowing somebody like me who likes food that would be excited about sitting and thinking about and discussing that question.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's all it takes. Much like our conversation.
Yeah.
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 That's
Totes.
fun.
Man.
Well, that was a banger episode. Really enjoyed listening to you guys.
Your wheezing voice memo made me laugh and warmed the cockles of my heart from afar. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the comb over.
And if you get warm cockles, you want to eat that first. You don't. Cold vegetables are fine. Warm cockles.
Yeah. Get to the center of the warm cockles first. It'll be hot and fresh.
Ugh, what's happening?
Gross. That's not a word you want to keep hearing over and over. You hear
What
it
word? I'm
once,
sorry. I was distracted by
you hear it
finding
once
tape.
and you move on. It's okay. The moment's passed.
Dang it. I'm going to have
you
to
were
listen.
you were being a parent. We were goofing off. It's all good. You had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
So Kory, you were gone
Yeah.
last week.
I heard cockles. Did we?
Did I hear
Like when that word came out, my attention meter, like I was still over here, but like there was like one half of my brain was like, I heard part of something that's funny.
You had me at cockles. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You'll hear it back when you go to edit it.
Yeah.
Kory, you were gone last week. First of all, how dare you?
Yeah. Sorry.
But no, you were. I kid. You were traveling extensively. I think we alluded to that, or maybe outright said it. You had like 24 hours of travel in the middle of multiple trips.
Yes.
Did you get any stories? Do you have any stories? And did you confront anyone with the fact that you have a podcast and you wanted explanations?
I got so much to get into. So yes,
Great.
a lot of travel. It was supposed to be more. I was supposed to be on the road for 3 weeks without coming home in between. It ended up just being 2. But inside of that 2 weeks, I was in New York City for a couple days. Madrid, Spain. Sherry came with me on that trip. And then we said goodbye in Spain. She went home through Charlotte, and I went to San Francisco through Dallas.
Mm.
On that day, that was, if I did my math, 24 and a half hours of travel door to door. So that was a long day. So that was 2 weeks, 3 cities. Sherry joining me for the middle bit. So most of my stories are about Spain. New York was great. I popped in at the Comedy Cellar again. No crazy lineup, just really solid New York comics. Jordan
It's gonna
Jensen
be
was
a
my favorite.
midnight at the cellar.
Yeah, it's going to be a good. I was waiting for that. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
New York was great. Madrid is where the stories come from, and then San Francisco was great. Nothing really crazy there, other than the fact that I missed In and Out, but did discover a lovely, authentic Hawaiian place owned by a Hawaiian lady with like authentic Hawaiian foods. It was lovely. Okay, so Spain.
And by the way, you're mentioning the comedy club, and we talked about Austin. And in hindsight, I should have prepped better to go to the mothership while I was in Austin. If I could have gotten away for a show, I think Theo Vaughn was there while I was there,
Dude.
and was at the mothership, and I could have tried to get tickets. Complete was not on my radar at all as I was thinking, I'm thinking New York, Chicago, LA for comedy clubs. I'm not thinking of this more recent Austin.
Austin is really popping off in the comedy world.
Yeah.
It's like
I missed it.
A bunch of them moved there during the pandemic. So
I was going to say, it's like half of LA's comedians are now Austin's comedians.
Yep. So I learned from Dylan's mistake and am already buying my ticket for when I'm there in the beginning of April. So thanks for blowing it so that I don't.
You're welcome.
So
It was my pleasure.
So probably the craziest story about Spain, which also happens to be the craziest story in the type of work that I do in 10 years. So I will hedge just a little and say that I am all too aware that other people have real jobs where there's like life and death is actually on the line. So this, I'm not comparing. In my world, however, this was quite crazy. So that's the disclaimer.
Okay.
So, if you don't know what I do and you're just joining us for the first time, I am what's called a graphic facilitator. That means I use live scribing and note taking and drawing to facilitate a group of people, usually executives, in a full day workshop environment, 8-foot high walls, 180 degrees of whiteboard walls that I'm capturing the conversation live and in real time. So, this specific engagement in Madrid was for one of the large hyperscalers, so very well-known tech firm. And I was working with my colleague and friend of the show, Stefan, who lives in Cologne. Stefan was kind of the point person for this engagement. He was basically just subcontracting me to show up and do my thing in a meeting that was running concurrently at the same time as his meeting. So he was going to be doing a meeting upstairs in this hotel at the exact same time I was going to be doing a meeting in the bottom part of the hotel. So we had to basically build out 2 spaces to do what we do. We normally ship in 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of 1/2-inch foam board because we never really know what the surface of the rooms we're going to be in are. So to play it safe, we have these lightweight boards that we can just throw up, tape together, and put around the room. Tracking so far?
Mm-hmm.
So Stefan orders those boards to be shipped from Germany to Madrid. And he and his wife go a few days before the event to do some sightseeing and have some time together in Madrid before he's going to prep at the hotel. Sherry and I arrive the morning that he's trying to figure out where his boards are, and the boards are nowhere to be found. The shipping company in Germany swears they shipped them. The hotel swears they never received them. So we he has no boards on the day that Sherry and I are arriving in the morning after a red-eye flight. So rather than bother us, he just says, I'll go with one of the employees from this company and we'll go to the Spanish equivalent of Home Depot and try to find a suitable replacement for our 1/2-inch thick foam boards that are not showing up. So on that day, he goes. He doesn't speak a ton of Spanish, and vocab at a hardware store is trying to find that. So they're talking into their Google Translate to try to establish that they need 4 foot by 8 foot sheets of something lightweight that they can build these walls with. And the best he can come up with is 1/8-inch thick masonite. If you don't know what masonite is, it's very heavy. It's what they use to cover like skate parks with. It's like a wood, but it's bendable. It's usually got one extremely slippery side and then one like textured backside. So it's heavy, way heavier than we normally use, but it's the best he can find. Unlike normal masonite, this has a shiny side and one side that's painted white. Even better for what we do because we use this electrostatic paper that goes on top of the boards, blah, blah, blah. So that was actually going to be a good color for the background instead of a dark brown. So they say they will drop ship the next day. So the next morning, I now show up with Stefan to this extremely fancy hotel, and we're waiting on the boards to arrive so we can start building. The meeting with the executives is tomorrow at this point. So we start building. The boards don't show up. Mid-morning goes by. They're supposed to be there first thing in the morning, still not there. They show up around noon. Now we've got half a day to completely build out 2 rooms. Again, not life and death, but this is a very big meeting with 17 very large companies gathered from all of Europe to convene to meet with one of these hyperscalers for like a customer advisory board. So this is like a lot of executives are going to be there the next day. We now have half a day to completely do what we were supposed to do in 2 days. So we just start scrambling to put these walls up. And as we're putting them up, they're extremely heavy. In addition to the regular boards that were supposed to be shipped, Stefan also thought ahead and shipped these long skinny triangles that we can put on the back of the boards to act as sort of like kickstands or braces. So we're like putting up the heavy masonite that just wants to curl over, and just on the back, we're just using gaffer tape to tape these triangles to the backs because there's nothing else. We can't put them up against walls because there's sconces and framed art and whatever. Then we put our base layer of the electrostatic paper down. And then on top of that, we put pre-populated elements that we've drawn from home ahead of time, like logos and conversation titles and key graphics that need to appear on the wall, kind of like a flanogram by Sunday school, move Jesus and the donkey and the stuff around on the felt, right? So we get the rooms built. They're looking great. We go up until 7 or 8 p.m. Spain time, and Stefan and his wife and Sherry and I, we go out for a nice dinner. That night, we're going to bed, and I'm just like stirring. And I just cannot, this is not normal Kory anxiety and overthinking. This is like, I do not feel good about these boards. And I keep stirring, and it's getting later and later and later. And I'm now getting up in a few hours at this point. And now I'm setting my alarm earlier because I'm like, in case something has gone wrong, I want to be prepared. Now feels like a great time to take a quick break and hear a word from some of our friends in Odd Pods Media.
Boy.
If you're into comedy, game shows, and improv, you should come check out BFYTW. We are an adult British-inspired comedy panel show. New episodes release every Thursday through your favorite podcast player or bfytwpod.com. We're also a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network and would love for you to join us for some laughs.
Hey there, I'm Dave, the host of Beer in Front. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about, some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
All right. So Stefan is relaxed enough that he feels like he's going to show up at 7:45. Breakfast with the executives is 8:30. Meeting starts at 9. Butts in seats, meeting starting at 9. I show up at 7 a.m. and discover this.
Oh, that's not the way you designed it.
The boards pulled away from the tops of those triangles in the photos.
Yes,
and have
look like
completely
boards from a Cialis commercial.
the before part of a seal.
Right, yeah.
And the customers are going to be there in 90 minutes. It took a half day. Normally it takes at least a full day to get it to the point where it's presentable. So this is my room in the basement. I go up to Stefan's room upstairs, and one of his walls is completely fine. But he's got another short run of wall. Each of those boards is 4 feet across. He's got another short section of wall, maybe 12 feet, so 3 boards that has fallen over. So I call Stefan, and I'm not panicked, but there is a sense of urgency in my voice, and I go, dude, the boards have fallen. You got to get over here. So he's like, I'm on my way. He was staying in an Airbnb. Their room was very small. He jumped over his wife in order to jump in the shower. And so because he woke her up, she just came with him to help. So we start with his meeting because it's a global meeting and arguably more important. And so we go up and we repair his 3 walls. But just to do 3 walls took 30 minutes or so. So now we've got to do my whole wall, which is everything you just saw in these photos, in much less time. The lady from the hyperscaler company, who shall not be named, was panicking. She was like, at what point do we just put the boards away and say, let's go back to PowerPoint? Like, it might not be doable. But Stefan stayed way more positive. I was trying to honor her concern that at some point you just have to call it. So I said, Stefan, you're the boss here. I'm just here for you. You need to check with her if she wants to proceed. So he's like, it's fine. Yeah, let's just try. Like, so relaxed. So all of a sudden, like 7 to 10 employees from the big tech company and a handful of hotel staff just start holding the walls up while Stefan and I, like madmen, are trying to ape them at the back. And we managed to get it back to this.
Wow. Look at that. After shot. There it is.
So we still had to remove the base layer of paper because everything had fallen on the ground and was crazy wrinkled and torn.
Yeah.
So what you see here is what we managed to salvage, but all of the electrostaticness was now gone because it had spent the night on the ground. So now we're using Scotch tape to put the things that we needed that were already agreed with. Every presenter and speaker pre-approved these images to use as the visual anchors to their talks. So these things needed to be back on the walls. Mm-hmm. So then the last challenge became the white of the board had a grit to it. So now as I was writing, no longer having the benefit of the grid to keep things nice and straight, now, as I was writing, every time I took a stroke, it was like sanding my markers down to the nibs.
Jeez.
So luckily, my meeting was only half a day long. And as the meeting was going, I was starting to hear like,
oh.
The tape was starting to pull away from the triangles again. So now I just start thinking at some point, because look where the chairs are. Yeah. At some point, I might have to go like, everyone stop! And just, so it's like, can this meeting go fast enough? So on breaks, I'm going and like doing random patch jobs where the tape is pulling away to try to reinforce it. I'm taping straight across to like beams of the hotel, like anything, bookshelves. I'm going from board to bookshelf, like as a strap, more
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, you guys, in 10 years, nothing like that has ever happened. So we managed to pull it off. And this photo, you can kind of tell at the top, it wasn't as straight and lovely as we're used to. But the customers knew no different. Everybody still had a good time. They thought it was really cool. And yeah, we pulled it off. So kind of crazy.
Thanks, Seattle.
So yeah,
Thanks.
thank you, Stefan, for staying positive. But that was crazy. What's funnier is because Sherry had joined on this trip, and this is probably what jinxed it. There's this infamous story on our team before I joined 10 years ago that was like some teammates of mine were at a hotel in a banquet room doing what we do. They had already built the walls. Maybe it was an office, doesn't matter, hotel or company office. And there was a debate on who had the room, who had booked the room. And some people around, either at the office or hotel, said, that's our room. And my colleagues were like, no, we have a meeting in here tomorrow with executives. We've built all these walls. We have the room. So in anger, overnight, the people who said it was their room took down everything. And so my colleagues rock up the next day and everything's down and they're ready to like kick off. So I said, Stefan, tell Sherry the story about the crazy time. Because up until that point, that was the craziest thing that had ever happened. But again, not life and death. But when this is what you do, and this is like the thing you're being paid to fly to Spain to provide for, you're like, if we don't pull this off, that's, it was pretty scary.
Ooh. Dude, I'm glad it worked out. That goes without saying. Man, if you were the boss man in charge there, do you think that you would have do you think you would have pulled the plug on it at some point?
The only reason I suggested it to Stefan, and I've checked myself in hindsight twice, and I feel like the answer is still that I was more concerned that the end customer was panicking.
Yeah.
So my instinct was to take it down, but only because I had the knowledge that the main meeting was going to still go on and that this was almost like a secondary breakout type meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
So I probably would have pulled a plug on the second one because we were down to like only 45 minutes left to turn it from what you saw to where we ended up. Yeah. I probably would have pulled the plug on the second meeting and just said, let's just get the boards out of here. Because she was upset. She had to have her colleagues take her away and calm her down just because she had so much riding on this meeting.
Yeah.
So I probably would have called the second meeting. But I also didn't realize how many people were on standby from the hotel and the company to like help out. And it was just a really good lesson in like, stay calm, just start trying and see where that gets you. And we managed to figure it out, but it was many hands make light work situation.
I feel like I would have never been so resourceful to think to like call or pull in hotel staff. Like, do you have any employees that can come help us in one of your rooms with our business meeting? And they probably would find a handful of people. Most hotels probably would find, if they had people, like, yeah, we'll send some people. What do you need? So that's smart. Whoever did that. And Stefan is too nice to have that happen to him anywhere. He doesn't deserve that.
And he also wasn't like, I don't want to say he wasn't apologetic to the company hiring us, but he was like, because he had so much trust with like the key stakeholders and the people who brought us out, they knew that because they had helped him try to find replacement boards. They knew this wasn't our normal material. They knew it was on the fault of the company not shipping our normal materials. They knew we were doing the best we could. They knew these weren't an ideal substitute and were way too heavy, but we were just going to try to pull this together for them. So he wasn't like, I'm sorry. He was just like, we're doing the best we can. Relax. We'll get there if we get there. And so yeah, you didn't feel the pressure to like, because you basically got two customers in that setting, right? You got the company bringing you out, and then you got all their 18 of their customers.
Yeah.
So is yeah, crazy. Okay, so this will get into food. So after that craziness, we went and celebrated that night. So here's Stefan and his wife Claudia, and then Sherry and myself having tapas.
Mm.
I'm gonna talk a lot about tapas
Tapas and gazpacho.
and gazpacho. So the regional cocktail there is a sweet vermouth or vermouth roja, and it's garnished with orange and green olive.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun. Oh, there's Stefan and I building the rooms. But anyway, okay, so the tapas. So Sherry was like, I thought tapas was a dish. And I was like, no, it's like a style of eating.
It's like a thing. Yeah.
It's like let's see if we as a country can just never decide on an entree.
Yeah. Right.
It's like it's more about the social aspect of like, let's get a bunch of small plates and all just share.
Mm-hmm.
So we went into this place, this market, and do you see the black signs up there behind Sherry and I's head?
Yepers.
Okay, so everywhere there was probably 9 of those squares, 3x3, and some of them would say seafood, and some of them would say dim sum, and some of them would say like charcuterie, bread and olives. And within each of those 9 was like 4 to 7 businesses that had little shops with that type of food. And in the middle of all of that, those 9 boxes was just all these high top tables. So it was just like this mad 3 of those, 5 of these, 3 of those, cash out. Take 2 steps to the right. I'll have 2 of those, 1 of those. Ring it out. Walk across. I'll have 3 of those, 5 of those, and then you bring it all to the middle and everybody just goes ham. It was so fun. We were there for hours. Just drinks and food flowing. So many unique things. Lobster rolls, crab cakes, the dim sum. They had like a curry pot sticker. The olives and cheeses and breads and fresh fish and paella we just kept the vermouth just like a train. It was so fun. I mean, like a really fun way to eat. Super enjoyed it. Yeah, you can kind of see that's a pasta one. I think, what does that one say? I can't tell. But it was so fun. The expense report is a nightmare because of all of the microtransactions. But it was a great time. Oh,
That's
there's
fun.
some. Yeah, it was a blast. Really good time. Okay, so did I have to talk to anybody? Well, we can come back to the food. Okay, so Sherry and I part ways in Spain at the Madrid airport, and I've got a long flight to Dallas. And I'm in a section on the plane with just 4 rows. And an older gentleman seemed to be the father or grandfather of an older family, so not little kids, gets into our section and starts putting roller bags above seats. He's with a woman. You assume that that's his wife or whatever. And so he puts 2 roller bags above their bin. That one's now full. Then he starts taking roller bags from people behind him, who we can assume are his friends and family, or at least travel companions of some kind, that are not in that section. Their seats are in a different cabin, but he's taking their roller bags because it's close to the door. He's putting their roller bags in bins now behind his row, behind that row. Yeah. And he just starts. So he's not only blocking boarding from happening, no one behind him can get to their seats. These people that are traveling with him are just giving him their roller bags so they don't have to mess with it. And everybody's bags are close to the door for his group's benefit on their way out. When a lady that's also in this section decides she is having none of it. I don't know the exchange, but I know that it got heated, and he played the "oh, I didn't know" card. And she's like, you know, and he's like, I didn't hear the total exchange. All I heard was the lady's husband start to go, whatever, calm down, calm down. Call her Judy. Judy, calm down, calm down. And she goes, I'm not going to calm down. He's being an asshole. For a 11-hour flight, they sat right across the aisle from one another. Before, though, so this is a long international flight. So this is like the people get settled, they get their blanket, pillow, headphones, they kick their shoes off, and they've got a little like airline socks that you can put on. They've got like eye mask. It's a nice little section. So while all that's going on and people are mostly in their seats and we're just waiting for the boarding doors to close and start pushing away from the gate, she, with a huff, stands up, undoes the bins, and starts pulling his family's bags out and taking them to a different section. Like, nope, not in my section. She's not putting anything else in there. This is just on principle now.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to do my, excuse me, sir, I have a podcast and we like to talk about social, because this lady did it for me. Crazy. That's probably the craziest thing that happened with that type of social etiquette stuff. There was a few others, but none of them were big enough that I felt like they warranted like a special questioning. Last thing, it was so funny. The Tuesday when poor Stefan was out at the Spanish Home Depot trying to find replacement boards, Sherry and I were just trying to acclimate to the time zone, and we're just strolling around in this park. And there's a guy jogging, and he's got an Ohio State basketball jersey on that says James on the back. And I thought, this is either a weird product that got shipped in very small quantities to weird parts of the world, or did Ohio State do like a LeBron James tribute thing? Because it was number 23. Anyway, so the guy's standing by a fountain, and he's like mid run, and like he's like looking at his watch, and he's doing the jogging place thing. And I look over and I go, OH. And he goes, IO. So like he knew to do it. He just never expected, you know, anybody. That was my, so I need to figure out why they made like a LeBron James Ohio State jersey. Dylan's got a thought on that.
Kory, you know, or
Google,
Dylan.
Google AI overview says LeBron James never played for Ohio State, but Nike produces fan apparel jerseys with his name and number 23 to honor his ties to Ohio. They're popular collector's items and official fan gear for the Ohio State basketball teams, representing his support of the team.
Cool. This jogger also had a Ohio State hoodie wrapped around his waist while he was jogging, and I thought that was kind of a funny little thing. So yeah, that's my Spain story.
That's awesome. I mean, you talked about the food. Did you do anything unique in California while you were there? Or was that pretty standard as far as California trips go?
California was standard. Last thing on Spain, we did have one day after the meeting was over, after that night of a ton of tapas and vermouth, and we each decided what's one thing you want to see while you were here. We were only there for like a full 4 days. So her choice, originally, she was going to choose a cathedral. She instead chose the Royal Palace of Spain, where the King and Queen of Spain do not live, but hold official business and work. This is twice the size of Buckingham Palace. And I can't even, just trust me, the priceless items in this place and the decor and the gilded gifts from all over the world to this family. I mean, the embroidered silk wallpaper things that looked like paintings that were actually mosaic. The colored stones were broken so small that it looked, these elaborate tables and clawfoot things and throne rooms. And the guy the Stradivarius, he has 3 Stradivarii on display there that still get played regularly. They're like priceless Stradivariuses, chandelier, like crazy. And then my choice was to visit an art museum where Pablo Picasso's Guernica was on display. If you don't know, Guernica is a massive Picasso painting. And they had some other Picassos and a few Salvador Dali's as well. So that was kind of one of those like, if these paintings live here, and I don't know that I'm ever going to come back to Madrid, for me, an artist, that felt like you better go see the Picassos and Dali's before you leave Spain. So that day started with a lovely little brunch where I ordered something that was basically like the Spanish version of what I said earlier, the Canadian dish, the fries and the
Poutines.
poutine. So it was fries, thinly sliced cured ham, 2 eggs for breakfast. That was lovely. And that was before we started all that sightseeing. So San Francisco, cool. But that was a 3-day meeting after 24 hours of travel. And it was kind of very full days. And we were not in a crazy exciting part of the outer Silicon Valley Bay Area. So good trip, a lot of fun. Did meet a nice Irish gentleman there who was ultimately the key customer that we were there to support his meeting. He's from Dublin, lives in Dublin, but has a summer home in County Kerry, which is the neighboring county to where Dylan and I's heritage hails from, County Cork. And we went from not knowing him at the beginning of the week to at the end, he's like so thankful. And we're like, he's inviting us to his home. And if you're ever in Ireland, come. But this is the thing about his house and why we might want to take him up on his offer. His home looks out over the Irish Sea. And he showed some pictures on his phone and he said, "You see that island?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "That is about 10 miles off. The photo doesn't really show that depth, but that's 10 miles away from the coast. And do you happen to be a Star Wars fan?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's the island where Rey goes and finds Luke Skywalker and tries to give him back his lightsaber. And those stone huts that look like little stone domes were actually built by 7th or 8th century monks. And so what's funny is that you can get charter boats to take you out there. And it's not people interested in what the 7th and 8th century monks did with their huts. They're like, which one was Luke Skywalker inside of? But that you can see the island from Star Wars from his house. And he's like, "You should come over and we're doing an addition on the house and you're welcome anytime. And there's a great pub down the street." And yeah,
I think that's where we record from now on.
So that sounded really cool. So that was probably the highlight of my time in San Francisco, is meeting our new Irish friend.
From the middle of Skywalker's hut.
Yeah. And if you heard the story about me staying with Dan Rustin in Redwood City on Sherry and I's way out to Hawaii, when he said, "If you're ever in town," and we took him up on his offer, I wanted to tell this guy, "Be careful what you offer me, because I will absolutely take you up on it, especially if Star Wars lore is involved."
Mm-hmm. I mean, he gave you that piece of information. It was like he was begging you to come.
Like, let's go, man. What do we stop?
Let's go. Did you run the baked potato bar idea by him?
No, but we did talk a lot about potatoes and St. Patty's Day. So this was on the lead up to St. Patty's. And he was like, "Yeah, not really a big deal in Ireland. I mean, if you're in Dublin, it is, because like there's a big party and you know, it's just people for miles." But he's like, "I don't think people in Ireland go as crazy for St. Patty's Day as people in the States do." And he goes, "In fact, because St. Patty's Day is the holiday, you don't want to drink too much on that day because you've got work the next day. So if anything, the craziest we would get is maybe have a couple the night before St. Patty's Day so that we can just chill the next day." So
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I can see, like, you know, people immigrating to another country and you're surrounded by a bunch of people who also migrated from Ireland and wanting to make it a bigger thing just so that you can kind of, like, you know, have your own holiday where like everybody is kind of like digging your heritage and stuff. I can see that happening too, and evolving that way here. Good.
Yeah. So good time. And I just found out today that I'm going to Amsterdam in 9 days before a trip that I already had planned to Austin before a couple other weeks of travel. So
Wow.
things are going well, but this is like the downside of freelancing. You feel like when an opportunity comes, you
Kind of
would be
have to.
foolish to not take it. So it's like make hay while the sun's shining type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying a lot of no right now.
I
But
hear you.
thanks for being patient with all the travels.
No, no problem. Hey, Dylan,
Yeah.
how are you?
We got 54 minutes in.
That is so sweet of you to ask.
I was just thinking, like I was honestly curious. How's Dylan? How's your life? How's your goals and your hopes, your dreams,
Story of Dylan's
your
life.
fears?
Yeah. You got 6
Anything
minutes.
causing you to throw that ball up against the wall over and over and over at night, counting repetitions? What?
Yeah. There's not enough time left in this episode to cover those details, but I'm good. March Madness is on. We got a bracket going at work. Speaking of Ireland and Ohio State, I saw some really great videos of Ohio State's marching band performing in Ireland.
Absolutely.
Recently. I don't think they call it St. Patty's Day over there. I think it's St. Patrick's Day. They don't worship the cheeseburgers. But the videos were cool. There's a brand new day trailer out for Spider-Man. That's already at like 20 million views, and the trailer looks awesome. It's like already the most viewed trailer of all time, I think, and counting. So excited for Spider-Man. Work is busy in perpetuity, but that means that I'm employed. So I'm not mad about that. And yeah, things are good. I had a delicious Fago grape soda when we started recording. So spirits are high. When in Rome, do as the tapas do, you know? I think that's the saying.
That's
Pretty
right.
sure it is. Crushed it.
Yeah, two things. One, it didn't go unseen, and I do appreciate that we don't worship the burgers comment. And I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Well, thought you deserved a little bit of payback, if I'm being honest. I wasn't going to ask till next week at 56 minutes into that recording. So, but since you brought it up, how are you going
We already talked about his beard and his hat. And
I know
Yeah,
he
I
got
suppose.
so much attention on the front
I'm
half of
sorry.
this episode. I gushed about it. I called you Gandalf.
That's
I don't know. There's literally not a higher compliment from me. I'm saying you're Gandalf. Okay.
High price.
yeah. Oh boy.
But that's what's going on with me. This was such a good episode because we talked so much last week about food. We needed to hear from somebody not named Dylan, so this was a great way to do this week. I'm sure I'll have some more stuff next week. We just started Modern Family. I'd never even watched 5 minutes of the show before. It's very funny. So we're watching through Modern Family.
Yeah, dude, it's a classic.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very amused. So yeah, things are good.
Wonderful.
I got some time off coming up. Got some travel coming up in the future. Not nearly as soon or cool as Kory's.
Stop it. It's super cool. It's an award trip in the tropics.
It is. Yeah. It's not for, I got like a month, but my passport just showed up. So I got my passport. Headed to Costa Rica in about a month. So yeah, things are good. Just need the airports to not be shut down,
First time out of the country, right?
It is, interestingly. I've traveled decently throughout mostly Eastern US, but a little bit other places. Never been out of the country. And yeah, I'm very excited. It should be really nice.
It'll be fun, man. I can't wait to hear about Costa Rica. Hopefully you don't get the dang it fever.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I don't care for it by the sound of it. So whatever keeps me from getting that would be good. I'm concerned. I'm concerned the TSA is not going to appreciate how much I'm going to have to break the 3.4 ounces of liquid or lotion rule because of the amount of sunscreen I'm going to need to take.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So
that's what carry-ons are for.
Yeah, so I'm going to need an industrial sized vat from Costco. So I'm going to have to go shopping. Yeah, maybe I should stockpile every trip every week from here out, and then we'll see what I can get through TSA. The tortillas made it. That's kind of the same. So
I was going to say, yeah, Bill, we've been tracking this guy for a while. Strange thing. Every time he goes to Texas, he brings back a crap ton of tortillas. And every time he goes anywhere sunny, it's just nothing but sunscreen.
They have these, I think we've talked about it before. They have these like act like you belong type, try to people sneak into things. I wonder if I could get a pallet of HEB tortillas, get them to the airport, put an orange vest on, and try to like dolly them as if it's cargo to the plane, and then like, nope, this one goes to Columbus. Get it on the 747. I don't know the plane. Put it on, get it all loaded on that one. It's a Columbus bound. Just see if I can sneak her on.
I can just see Dylan like getting as close as he can to the airplane and like just trying to like throw them but frisbeeing tortillas, packets of tortillas into the cargo bin, and hopefully some of them land, and then getting back to Columbus, and then you just like see like tortilla package after tortilla package on the carousel,
because he was frisbeeing them over the guys who were actually there to work. So they're going like this, like every time he tries to throw one in betwixt them and their conveyor belt.
I'm less concerned that I think this feels to me like sneaking food into a movie theater. I think people think they're so sneaky, and I think the workers it's like, just don't make a scene, and we're just going to pretend like we didn't see anything. I feel like that's more like that would be easier. I think I would probably be so in the weeds on trying to prep. I would have like a Spaceballs helmet or something on, thinking that works at an airport, and I would be very out of place. I would not be properly prepared. My vest wouldn't be orange. It would probably say like school crossing on it or something.
You show up wearing like a Top Gun uniform. Out trying to fit in.
This guy, we would have let him in if it said Maverick, but it says Goose on his helmet. Turn this guy around.
He's clearly in the wrong place.
He's in the wrong spot. We don't.
Man.
Fun stuff.
Well, guys, look at the three of us.
Look at us. Look at us go.
We've got three different lengths and styles and stages of beard going on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an affiliate that we have that you might have heard about, artiusman.com, artiusman.com. And you can get a hold of beard products is sort of their big thing. Listen, if you want your beard to look as sharp as Kory's, you need a product in it. You can go super scraggly, but I tell you what, the skin underneath your beard is going to dry out, and it's going to itch like no one else's business. And you know what? The beard oils are actually for conditioning the skin underneath the hairs. So if you're not doing that, you're missing out on something. A lot of guys I've heard start to try to grow a beard and give up because it's uncomfortable. Beard oils will fix that problem. And as it gets longer, you might want to shape it and get a little bit more malleability out of the hairs. And that's where you can get into your butters. You can even get into some waxes and things like that too. Artius Man has you covered on all of those fronts. They've got information on their website that will tell you how to use and what you might need and that kind of thing as well. And then you can buy things. Sometimes you can even buy samples of different scents. And so you can decide what kind of smell you're looking for, that sort of thing. They also sell candles and all kinds of other grooming products. And we highly recommend them. We certainly use them. And put the middle into the code box at the checkout thing. And you guys understand how affiliate marketing works. We would appreciate it.
I've heard many people say that Artius Man is the HEB of men's grooming products. When it comes to men's grooming products,
HEB is to the Mexican comb over.
HEB, it's the HEB tortillas of men's grooming, and their beard oils are the Mexican comb over of all beard oils.
Listen, there was a short time in my life where I went mustache only and actually handlebarred that thing out. And Artius Man had the wax that I needed to do that.
So good. I feel like Father's Day is around the corner at some point soon-ish. So
yeah. So if somebody out there can figure out how to do a comb over with your beard,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how that would work, but I challenge you to try it. Artius Man probably has what you need for that too. And
Yeah.
and they haven't even thought of it yet, that they probably accidentally just have it.
I mean, you can try it with any hair you want, but the beard would be a place you could start,
A beard comb over.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Midlers, thanks for tuning in. This has been a fun one. Thank you for tolerating me back again, telling all the long stories.
Oh, we love it.
We love you. Keep the vermouth flowing and your walls upright.